You alright?
I'm Lil Pump.
You Lil Pump with J. Cole.
What's good, man?
How you feeling?
Good.
Yo, so there's people that's watching this right now that's probably like,
They probably won't believe it.
yeah,
They
they
say it's
losing.
Photoshop.
The J. Cole-Lil Pump beef is very important for both hip-hop and the world at large because it represents so many things. Old heads versus young heads, ignorant versus lyrical, anyone with an average IQ above their age, Lil Pump. And for the longest time, Lil Pump seemed to represent everything that was wrong with hip-hop. The pink and purple haired catchphrase spouting clown that became a millionaire at 16 from spouting repetitive party raps, glorifying drug use, promiscuous sex, and moving bricks out the bando. I mean, what's not to love? It's lit. And Lil Pump's success was no surprise to anyone that had been following hip-hop trends over the past few years closely. Sure, old heads love to sit around and say, I don't understand why Lil Pump's so successful. He's a moron. His music has no substance. It's just catchy, meaningless party bullshit. And to those old heads, I say exactly. Frankly, if anything, I've been more perplexed by how successful J. Cole has been over the past few years. And don't get me wrong, I admire J. Cole. He deserves all of his success, and he's an incredibly talented artist, writer, and performer. But damn, sometimes that stuff is just kind of boring. And that's not to say that it's not good and that it's not deep. But sometimes you just don't want to throw on an introspective slow jam about the first time a guy had sex when you're trying to pre-game at a party. No, you want a 16-year-old pill popper talking about moving bricks out the bando and shouting, "Es get it!" Now that doesn't mean that I think Lil Pump is better or worse than J. Cole. It's just different strokes for different folks and different Zans for different mans. But when Pump tweeted in 2016, "Bitch, I'm better than J. Cole, fuck all that lyrical shit," in some very specific ways, he did have a point and a lot of people sympathized. The thing is, it's easy to out-rap Lil Pump, but out-trolling him is a whole other question. Because he didn't say that he was the better rapper, he just said that he was better. And a lot of people were obviously mad and angry at Lil Pump's statement, and letters of support flooded in for J. Cole from nursing homes all across the land. But if you're one of the old heads that was literally shaking with rage at Lil Pump's statement here, just take a moment to consider, what do you think he was looking for when he tweeted this? Do you really think that he was trying to convince the world of lyrical rap that he was actually better than J. Cole with this tweet? Ah yes, I've been into lyrical rap my entire life, but after reading Lil Pump's convincing tweets, I'm ready to throw all of my Nas albums in the trash and get a knife tattooed on my forehead. No, much like a Trump rally, Donald Pump was speaking to the already converted masses of people who believed that the new school of mumble rap is better than the old school of lyrical rap. He was stoking up division between these two very vocal camps of music for one reason. Clout, baby! And boy did it work. But unfortunately for J. Cole, he broke the first basic rule of arguments. You cannot win an argument with an idiot. Rule 1 of Pump Club, you do not talk about Lil Pump. Rule 2 of Pump Club, you do not reply to Lil Pump. Rule 3 of Pump Club, if it goes red, you've pumped too hard. Look, trolls are like bonfires. They feed off of oxygen, and giving them replies only seeks to further serve their purpose. But unfortunately, J. Cole didn't have this in mind when a month later he dropped the song Everybody Dies. A 3-minute attempt at bodying the mumble rap community, which included some very pointed barbs, including the famous line, "I hate these rappers, especially the amateur 8-week rappers. Lil whatever. Just another short bus rapper. Fake drug dealer turned tour bus trappers. Napoleon complex you this tall rappers." And again, this is exactly the problem with trolls like Lil Pump. They don't actually exist, and their opinions don't actually hold weight until you acknowledge them. Now, these lines ruffled a few feathers with some of the more artistic rappers who use the prefix Lil. Obviously, there's Lil Uzi Vert and Lil Yachty, who both probably didn't deserve the smoke that J. Cole was baiting them with when he issued this blanket diss of anybody with the term Lil in their name. And in my opinion, dropping these lines was a bad idea by J. Cole for 2 reasons. Firstly, by giving more fuel to the fire than he actually deserves, he is playing into Lil Pump's hands and giving him clout, which is exactly what he wants. And secondly, by its very nature, by calling out this new generation of younger, Lil rappers, J. Cole basically just makes himself seem like a bitter old head. Which really was a shame because J. Cole had done such a good job of staying relevant and seeming like a current generation of rapper without having to sell out, despite his more traditional and lyrical approach to the rap game, and without actually having to sell out and sound like everybody else that was popular at the time. So he kind of discounted this really great image he'd built up for himself by just dropping this diss and coming off as a bitter old dude. But after fanning those Lil flames, it only took Lil Pump a little time to take a little shot at Big J. Cole. 4 months later, in April 2017, Lil Pump dropped a preview of a Fuck J. Cole diss track where he repeats the line "Fuck J. Cole" over and over again and calls him a bitch ass and an ugly ass.
Fuck J. Cole, nigga, fuck J. Cole, nigga, fuck J. Cole, you was a bitch ass nigga, you was an ugly ass nigga.
See, who said Lil Pump can't be lyrical? And deciding to keep things as lowbrow as possible, not long after that, Lil Pump released a video on social media of him slapping some girl's ass and shouting "Fuck J. Cole."
Y'all mad as fuck. Nigga, fuck J. Cole, nigga, fuck J. Cole.
Of course, everything does sound a lot more true when you say it whilst you're slapping a girl's ass. This is why I think it'd be a good idea for Donald Trump to bring Amber Rose out to his next press conference and end these impeachment proceedings once and for all. Okay, so we can all admit that this Fuck J. Cole preview track produced by Smokepurpp wasn't all that lyrical. And so several months later, in a pretty bizarre interview with the producer of that track and Trump's partner in terrible rhyme, Smokepurpp, things got pretty well summed up. When talking about the beefs between the old school and the new school generation of hip-hops, Smokepurpp basically said that nowadays in rap, you could literally just fart on the mic and that shit would go viral.
Art is art. You could do what you want. You could grab a mic and fart on that shit and go viral. The fuck, like.
And we all know that Smokepurpp's prophecy was proven right when Gucci Mane's latest protege, Lil Fart, had a Billboard Top 10 hit with his song Gucci Gats. But really though, it's statements like this and other stuff that Smokepurpp said in that interview that made things pretty clear that both him and Pump considered this beef with J. Cole just pure trolling for clout.
Honestly, like, nowadays, everything, like, is kind of a troll. So people do know that, like, it's trolling, but if you don't, like, we don't care. You know what I mean?
So considering for a second that we know for a fact that Lil Pump's camp literally believe that farting into a mic can actually constitute art in modern day hip hop, should probably be a pretty good indication that the guy is not worthy of a response. At this point, J. Cole really should have just been secure in the knowledge that his superior lyrical abilities are a much higher form of art than somebody farting, parping, or sharting onto a mic. J. Cole could have won the beef there and then on a technical knockout basis under the principle of he who smelt it dealt it. But unfortunately, J. Cole couldn't resist taking a shot at this open goal and showing off his lyrical ability with superior rhymes. But as we all know, who said the rhyme did the crime. But now a word from our sponsor, me. Your boy Trap Law Ross has just launched the latest merch in Trap Law Season 2, which you can go and cop at www.traplaw.com. I've got a whole amazing range of new clothes which I've designed myself, including this epic Trap Law Old English tee. Cop that as a baseball hat too. Got the Old English sweatshirt on Deckington for you to stay warm in the winter months. Also in stock as a hoodie, just in case you need to cover your face while you're running down the ops one time. Got the Trap Law MC tee in white, and we got it in black. And for the OG Maybach whippers and the true fans, we've got the Trap Law Motorsports tees on deck, both in black and in white. Got a simple TLR tee for anybody that wants slightly more simple designs, doesn't want to be rocking huge letters or pictures on their tees, and that comes in both black and white. But of course, finally, probably my favorite item from this collection is the exclusive Trap Law ting holding pouch, where you can store all of your tings just in case it goes down, just in case it gets real. Not quite coat hanger size yet, but we're going to work on that. We're going to work on it, you know what I mean? If you want to cop any of the Trap Law merch, head on over to traplaw.com. Back to the video. Cole replied on the 20th of April 2018 with a track called 1985 from his album KOD. The track was a long, wisdom-filled lecture for this generation of mumble raps and muffled farts. And while Cole doesn't call out Pump specifically by name, it seems patently obvious that the track is squarely aimed at Pump and fellow mic farter Smokepurpp. Though to be fair, Cole did later downplay the fact that the song was aimed at Lil Pump, suggesting it was more of a shoe fit scenario, assuming the shoes in question are a size 5 pair of kiddie Jordans. And Cole even went on to famously perform this song at Rolling Loud whilst Lil Pump was at the side of the stage.
Come here, little man, let me talk with you. See if I can paint for you the large picture. Congrats, cause you made it out your mama house. I hope you make enough to buy your mama house.
Now, if you haven't heard 1985, it's a pretty simple song. It basically calls out this younger generation of mumble rappers for making dumb music lacking substance that only seems to be concerned with money, pussy, and drug taking. J. Cole kind of takes on the persona of a patronizing big brother giving advice to the younger generation of rappers, warning them against the dangers of going broke buying jewelry and not investing their money wisely, and going on to put the fear of God in them for the inevitable late stages of their career when people stop showing up to their shows and their careers start cooling off. He calls out these rappers for not buying homes with the money that they blew on jewelry, lines which ironically got finessed by Lil Pump only a few days later when he took to social media to brag about his latest multi-million-dollar property investment.
I went and dropped $4.5 million on the house. You know why? Cause scat. That's why.
Now this whole scenario is interesting because while it's pretty obvious that J. Cole has taken the high ground on this track, and there's absolutely no doubt that he's the superior lyricist, an amazing songwriter, and actually giving genuinely good advice for an entire generation of misguided rappers. But at the end of the day, he is essentially playing into Lil Pump's game. In a way, J. Cole is kind of riding the mumble rap wave in reverse by dissing them. Now, I'm not knocking this. I think it's smart, and it's a good song. But he is playing into Lil Pump's game by getting provoked into making this diss song about him. And to be fair, a lot of the criticism which Cole is leveling at Lil Pump about him being a one-hit wonder and not being able to sustain his career is kind of invalidated by the fact that at this point, Lil Pump had already moved well beyond one-hit wonder status. And if you compare some of the view counts for the hits in Lil Pump's catalogue to J. Cole's catalogue, Lil Pump gives J. Cole a pretty good run for his money. And hell, if you look at the numbers now, Gucci Gang has damn near 1 billion views. J. Cole's most viewed video, on the other hand, is his feature on 21 Savage's song A Lot, and that hasn't even cracked 200 million. Damn, what happened to Platinum with no features? I hope J. Cole invested his money wisely. Look, J. Cole stans, let me sit down and have a little talk with you. It doesn't matter if you think Pump is an idiot and his music's complete trash. Look, just as many people will be listening to Gucci Gang as they will be Wet Dreams in 10 years' time, because they're both lit bangers that capture completely different vibes that are both very important to people. So there were plenty of one-hit wonder mumble fart rappers that were very worthy of J. Cole's wrath. But at the time of 1985 dropping, Lil Pump had kind of gotten his way out of this bracket. 1985 was an excellent song and a very cutting diss towards an entire generation of mumble rappers, mainly Lil Pump. But the actual numbers seem to suggest that Pump's house was built on much stronger foundations than J. Cole was suggesting in his song. And obviously so hurt and upset by J. Cole's cutting and provoking lyrics on his song, Lil Pump replied with an equally thoughtful response on social media.
Wow, you get so much props. You just a 17-year-old. Lame ass jit. Shit, I ain't worried about none of you old heads. I ain't with none of that lyrical shit. I just be having fun with what I do. Scat!
In fact, after 1985 dropped, the mumble rap army were in full effect, riding for their boy Lil Pump like an army of Xanax-addicted zombies. Zambies, if you will. Hellbent on demolishing any rapper with a brain in their head. In fact, one Zambi even managed to jump onto the stage and take a run at J. Cole at one of his shows. And as 2018 rolled on, Lil Pump continued trolling. Thanking J. Cole for the free Clout tokens whilst riding high off the back of his new video for the song Escalation, becoming the #1 music video in the US.
Cole, thank you for all the clout. Appreciate it.
Boy, this must have irritated J. Cole to no end. I mean, you go out on a limb, put yourself out there to fight the good fight against ignorant mumble rap, dropping confident bars that those rappers will fall off and be broke within absolutely no time. Meanwhile, those same mumble rappers you said were gonna fall off are smashing records, finessing $8 million deals and making you look like a senile old fool. And as the beef raged on, Lil Pump's crony Smoke Fart was spotted leading the crowds in a Fuck J. Cole chant at one of his shows, apparently a trend that caught on and really got to J. Cole. Soon after, J. Cole was actually interviewed backstage at Rolling Loud by Angie Martinez. And whilst discussing the ongoing beef with Lil Pump, Cole detailed finding out that people were shouting fuck J. Cole at shows, and in response decided to pull up at ground zero for Zanhole Mumble Rap, Adam 22 of the No Jumper podcast store on some shit in LA.
The reason why I wrote that is like that fuck J. Cole chant you seen, that was, I don't know if you know, but that was prominent for like at least a year before that song came out. It was to the point where like there's a store out in LA where they do a podcast there, like a bunch of these people like hang out. So I pulled up to the store, like where they be at, just to like check it out. But I go in there just to like see what it is in person. And like everybody that's in there is like, oh shit, J. Cole. Bro, I love your shit, bro. Right, lights in the room. So after like the 5th person to do that, I'm like, oh, okay. This is like, oh, it's marketing. Right. Like it's just a ploy. It's like a marketing ploy. I understood it better then. I'm like, oh, this is like, it's trolling.
In fact, this pull-up was actually well documented on Adam's channel. And while in this interview, J. Cole kind of made it sound like he was pulling up with the dicks to wage war on mumble rappers. The moment he turns up to the store, he looks a lot more like a tourist just pretending he's gonna buy a hoodie so he can use the bathroom. And weirdly seemed to use the entire time that he was in the store to corner Adam 22 in some kind of strange conversation about religion.
J. Cole, one of the biggest hip-hop artists in the world, just pulls up to the shop. I'm out of breath. I'm fucking frantic. I'm frazzled. I can't believe that he's actually in my store. What's the first thing I started talking about? I just mentioned that I was just listening to this podcast that was hella anti-Trump, and I mentioned that it was by atheist author Sam Harris. Boom, we're in like a 30-minute conversation about religion. What the fuck is going on?
The Lil Pump beef seemed to have nothing to do with this actual store visit, and in many ways J. Cole kind of just seemed like a lyrical rapper who'd been frozen in the 90s, unthawed in 2019 and found himself just wandering aimlessly around Fairfax trying to discover once and for all what the hell this Clout thing was. Meanwhile, Lil Fart was spotted seemingly squashing the beef with J. Cole, doing a mini interview with TMZ in his usual way, screaming mindlessly.
He actually stopped the crowd from saying fuck Lil Pump. How does that feel? What's your thoughts on that?
Shout out J. Cole. Get it!
But then when he was spotted at the Billboard Awards and asked about the beef, he kind of didn't know whether or not it was over.
There's all this alleged beef thing happening right now with you and J. Cole. Is that all over with? It seems like there's like a truce if there ever was a beef. Is there a beef?
I think so. I don't know.
No?
I don't know what's really going on. I don't know.
You know what's going on. TMZ talked to you the other day.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Yeah. I don't know.
And you were like, shout out to J. Cole.
Yeah, and shout out to J. Cole. Get it!
Everything's
Hey.
fine.
I mean, I don't know, man. Y'all gotta ask J. Cole what's going on, you know?
But to the shock and horror fans of lyrical and mumble rappers everywhere, not long after this there would be a meeting of the minds which would change hip-hop forever. After all of these weird exchanges in May 2018, J. Cole and Lil Pump decided to squash the beef once and for all and sit down together for an extended on-camera conversation at J. Cole's studio, The Shelter in North Carolina. Pump is sitting there a little bit like a younger sibling that's been misbehaving and has been forced to sit down and have a little pep talk from his older brother. But honestly, it actually panned out to be a really good conversation, and J. Cole actually asked a few pretty hard-hitting questions, uncovering some quite interesting tidbits of information about Pump's family history and eliciting this amazing moment where Lil Pump recounted pulling out a strap on his stepfather.
When like we started arguing, and I just put out a strap on him. And that's when like the whole shit ended.
I remember you was telling me about that.
Yeah.
How?
Like he was arguing with me, and he was trying to fight with me. I was like 16 at the time. I was like, we're trying
He's
to
a
fight
big
a
dude?
16-year-old. Nah, he's just a little bit fat. Like, look, he's a little bit chubby, but now he's not big.
Yeah.
But bro was just like, he was trying to get into it. I'm like, what's up? I'm like, what up, nigga? And I put on a strap, and I aimed that shit at him, bro. Just spooked, he ran inside.
Sheesh.
Apparently the conversation had come about in the first place because Pump had tried to get Cole on the phone, but J. Cole had refused initially, thinking that he was just going to get trolled once again. He probably was.
Somebody called my phone and you was there with them. I ain't gonna lie, I thought you was trying to set me up or some shit. I'm like, yo, he's 17, he like a master troll. I thought you would just screenshot the shit, go right to Twitter.
But eventually they did actually get onto the phone and decided to keep it classy and squash the beef once and for all with this amazing on-camera conversation.
And during the conversation, it was so natural that's when I got the idea, like, yo, we should just do this exactly what we're doing right now. On camera, and you was like, oh, I'm with it, let's do it.
Eventually they did get to speaking about this beef, which honestly wasn't particularly illuminating. Pump basically just explained his reasoning for that first fuck J. Cole tweet, saying that people in his comments were saying fuck J. Cole, and he decided to ride on that wave for a little bit of clout, in spite of the fact that he does like J. Cole's music.
Where was you at when you, I guess, came up with the fuck J. Cole shit?
Fuck J. Cole, man.
Oh, so it was already happening.
Yeah, low key, yeah. We make different type of music, so people like, I don't know, you know, they'll feel some type of way, like, oh, fuck this, fuck that. Well, you know, I started doing that, people were just like, fuck it, you know. That was like basically like the trend, like, I fuck with your shit, that shit's hard, you know.
Now, in spite of this half-conscious answer, Pump continues to tell J. Cole that he dissed him for clout and makes pretty much no apologies for the whole thing. But to me, the most striking thing of all about this interview was that in spite of the fact Lil Pump seemingly can't string a single sentence together, J. Cole constantly compliments Lil Pump on how smart he is.
This kid is smart. Yo, he is smart. You smarter than what people know, what people might give you credit for, and I think you smarter than like what you even put out there. To me, you strike me as somebody that's too smart to do too much. Your mama still live in a tent, like, like, I'm laughing in the car, like, yo, this dude is funny. Like, in that moment, I'm like, man, I love this little dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I had like an appreciation for you.
J. Cole actually went on from this interview to admit that he believes Lil Pump to be a marketing genius. And this, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, is the moment where J. Cole lost the beef. Because Lil Pump was playing the long con. I honestly watched this entire interview just waiting for J. Cole to compliment Lil Pump on being smart just one more time, for Lil Pump to just get up and scream, "Let's get it!" and walk out of the interview. Oh, how the lyrical god of J. Cole had spent so long shitting on Lil Pump for being a dumb, mumble rapper, and was now reduced to sitting in front of this kid, admitting how smart he was, and just how wrong J. Cole had been all along. And J. Cole fans, don't get me wrong, J. Cole did this gracefully. But let's be real, in this interview, he kind of walked back everything that he'd said about Lil Pump. And Lil Pump basically just sat there gormless, didn't apologize, and just admitted, yeah, I was trolling you.
Type show, like, he was giving me hella clout.
Now that doesn't mean Lil Pump's music doesn't suck, and it doesn't mean Lil Pump still can't lose all of his money, become irrelevant, and get cancelled for saying more racist shit. And while in some ways J. Cole should probably take the L for being so stupid to take Lil Pump's bait in the first place, let's be real though. Both Lil Pump and J. Cole both get a massive W for giving the fans a positive resolution for a beef for once. But we can never forget the fact that Lil Pump started this whole thing off by saying that he was better than J. Cole and that lyrical shit was whack. And what did Lil Pump get out of it? An iconic song where J. Cole used his best lyrical abilities to tear Lil Pump to shreds, but ultimately getting a lot of things wrong. And as fans, we got a couple of amazing songs out of it and an incredible extended interview where we did get a tiny little glimpse into Lil Pump's true personality, a better understanding of why he is like he is, and truly humanizing the man behind the veneer of diamonds and screams of Escalate! And in the end, this ended up becoming one of the best and most mature beefs in hip-hop history. So I say, let's have more Lil Pump versus J. Cole's and less 6ix9ine versus everybody's. Hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure that you like and subscribe below. Appreciate everybody for watching and supporting, and until next time, peace out.